Good morning, everyone. This is lecture number 46 of Engineering Thermodynamics. In last lecture, we started unit number 5, that is fuels and combustion, in which we saw two categories of fuel, that is chemical fuel and nuclear fuel. But in this unit, we are specifically talking about the chemical fuels. Then we saw different physical uh, means we categorize chemical fuel on the basis of its physical structure, that is liquid fuel and gaseous. We saw various types of liquid fuel and gaseous fuels and their advantages. Now we'll start with the basic chemistry of the fuel. Before considering combustion problem, it is necessary to understand the construction and use of chemical formulae. This involves elementary concepts which are discussed below briefly. That is atom. You have studied about the atom in the 12th class. Atoms, molecules and all. Let us repeat it. Let us understand before going to the next part. It is not possible to divide a chemical element definitely, and the smallest particle which can take part in the chemical change is called as an atom. Atom is a uh, means in most of the cases gases are available in the form of molecules like oxygen available in the form of O2, nitrogen available in the form of N2, or water molecule is available in the form of H2O. But presence of single atom oxygen, presence of single atom O is very difficult. Okay, if an atom is split as in nuclear reaction, the divided atom does not retain the original chemical properties. Suppose we are dividing O2 into O plus O. We are dividing O2 into O and O, then joining O and O is very difficult. Okay, therefore availability of atom in most of the cases is very difficult. Now molecules, the gases or the substance most of the time is present in the form of molecules except solids. Liquid and gases are available in the form of molecules only. It is rare to find element to exist naturally as a single atom. It is most of the time available in the form of molecules. Some elements have atom which exist in pair like O2, N2, each pair forming a molecule, example oxygen. If the oxygen is present in the form of molecule, that is O2, nitrogen present in the form of molecule, that is N2. Single oxygen or single nitrogen is hard to find, but when it react with the other molecule, just like water react with the hydrogen, it forms a water. There is a two atoms of hydrogen, or we can say molecule of hydrogen, and one atom of oxygen. In that case, it can be available, but in the form of molecules of water, that is H2O. Separately available of O is very difficult, and the atom of each molecule are together by stronger intermolecular force, interatomic forces. The isolation of molecule of oxygen would be tedious but possible. The isolation of atom of oxygen would be a different prospect. Isolation of oxygen would be a different prospect, means available. If we consider the example of water, there is a single atom of oxygen. In that case, the availability of single atom is possible, but only oxygen is available in the form of O2 only. The molecules of some substance are formed by the meeting up of atoms of different elements, just like water. For example, water has a molecule which consists of two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. In such case, the atom can be present, but in the combination, not a single atom. The atom of different elements have different masses, and these values are important when quantitative analysis are required. Okay, the actual masses are infinitesimally small, and the ratio of masses of the atom are used. The ratio are indicated by atomic weight quoted on the scale which defines the atomic weight of the oxygen as 16. Let us have some elements with their molecular formula, atomic formula, molecular weight and atomic weight. Now what is difference between atomic weight and molecular weight? In atomic weight we consider only single atom, and in the molecular weight we consider the molecule. We consider the molecule. Just like hydrogen. Hydrogen, symbol for hydrogen for atom is H, but for molecule it is represented by H2. Now atomic weight of hydrogen is 1. Since it is a molecular, since hydrogen molecule is written as H2, multiply 1 with 2, will get 2. Now oxygen, symbol of atom of oxygen is O, and its atomic weight is 16. Now symbol of molecule of oxygen is written as O2, then multiply 16 with 2, will get 32. Similarly for nitrogen, molecular formula N2 and molecular weight 28, atomic formula N and atomic weight 14. For carbon, carbon is a solid. Carbon and sulfur are the solid. Therefore, these solids are present in the form of atom only. Even though I have written here C and S for molecular column, but its molecular composition is very difficult because the solid is available in the form of atoms only. C and S. The molecular formula for carbon is C and its molecular weight is 12. Similarly, atomic formula of carbon is C and atomic weight is 32. Same for sulfur. S is equal to 32. Atomic weight and molecular weight is 32. Then water. Water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen. H2O. 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen. Now H2 is 2 and O is 16. Therefore 2 plus 16 is 18. Then carbon dioxide. Now carbon monoxide. It is a molecule made up of carbon and oxygen. Carbon is 12, oxygen is 16. Therefore it is 28. Then carbon dioxide, CO2. C is 12, O2 is 32. It is 44. Then sulfur dioxide, SO2. These are the molecules but present in the combination. Sulfur is 32 and O2 is 32. Therefore it is 64. Then marsh gas. Marsh gas is a methane, that is CH4. C is 12 and H4 is 4. 12 plus 4, 16. Then ethylene gas, C2H4. C2, 12 to the 24 plus 4, 28. Then ethane, C2H6. C2H6. C2 means 24 and H6 means 6. It is equal to 30. Then combustion equation. In combustion chamber, proportionate mass of air and the fuel enters where the chemical reaction takes place, and then the combustion product pass to the exhaust. Now we will talk about the combustion chamber first. Now what is combustion chamber? The combustion chamber is a area where controlled combustion takes place. It's called as a combustion chamber. If we talk about the automobile engine, in automobile engine, combustion takes place inside the cylinder between piston top and cylinder head. The area where the control region where between cylinder, piston and cylinder head where combustion takes place, that region is called as a combustion chamber. Now when the combustion takes place, reactant combines with each other. Reactant reacts with each other and form a product, and product is exhausted outside the engine through silencer. By the conservation of mass, the mass flow remains constant. The mass flow remains constant means in the automobile engine we supply petrol, we supply air. During combustion, petrol burns in presence of oxygen and gives the product as a gas. Now oxygen is not available in the oxygen form only. We supply oxygen through air. Now air contains nitrogen also, but nitrogen is an inert gas. Therefore nitrogen doesn't react with the fuel at normal temperature. Okay, therefore nitrogen comes out of the engine as it is, and oxygen combines with a fuel during burning, and fuel is a hydrocarbon, means hydrogen convert into water and carbon convert into carbon dioxide if the complete combustion takes place. Okay, since nitrogen is an inert gas, nitrogen does not react with fuel, but at very high temperature like 1100 degrees Celsius, 1200 degrees Celsius, nitrogen can react with the fuel and can form, nitrogen can react with the fuel and oxygen and can form NOx, that is oxides of nitrogen, which is very dangerous and it can lead to acid rain. Therefore in the inside the engine we have to restrict the temperature, maximum temperature inside the engine, so that reaction with nitrogen should not take place inside the engine. That is total mass of product. Total mass of product is equal to total mass of reactant. Suppose reactant is carbon and oxygen. We are supplying carbon and oxygen in the engine for the combustion. When the carbon react with the oxygen, it forms carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide is a product. Therefore product is equal to total sum of the, or the total of the reactant or the sum of the reactants. But the reactant are chemically different from the product, and the product lives at a higher temperature. Look at here, reactant are chemically different. Reactants are carbon and oxygen, but product is CO2. Look at here, reactant and product are different chemically. Reactant enters at a low temperature, but after combustion product lives at a high temperature. Now the temperature of product is completely depend upon the type of process. If it is a heating process, then product will be at a higher temperature. If it is a cooling process, then the product will be at a lower temperature than the reactants. The total number of atoms of each element concerned in the combustion remains constant. The total number of atoms of each element concerned in the combustion remains constant, but the atoms are arranged into a group having a different chemical formula. Just like C is reacting with a O2. If carbon is reacting with the oxygen, that is C plus O2 gives CO2. On the left hand side, C plus O2 gives CO2, means one atom of carbon and two atoms of oxygen. The equation is balanced on left hand side and right hand side. We have to keep that balance. The information is expressed in the chemical equation, which shows the reactant and the product of combustion, the relative quantities of the reactant and product. The two sides of the equation must be consistent, each having the same number of atoms of each element involved. The oxygen supplied for combustion is usually provided by atmospheric air, and it is necessary to use accurate and consistent analysis of air by mass and by volume. Whenever we supply oxygen to the for the combustion process, we do not supply oxygen separately. We have to supply air because air contains the oxygen, but by volume only 21% of air is oxygen is there and 79% of nitrogen. Therefore for the complete combustion we have to do combustion analysis, and required amount of oxygen in the air should be supplied for the combustion. Okay, if the oxygen is less than the required, then combustion process will not be complete. Okay, it will be incomplete combustion. If the combustion is incomplete, instead of carbon dioxide we will get carbon monoxide. Okay, therefore most of the time we supply excess air so that all carbon can be reacted with the oxygen and can form carbon dioxide. Therefore most of the cases we supply excess amount of air. It is usual in combustion calculation to take air 23.3% O2 and 76.7% nitrogen by mass, and 21% O2 and 79% nitrogen by volume. By volume, in air 21% is oxygen and 79% is a nitrogen, but by mass 23.3% is oxygen and 76.7% nitrogen. Uh, while doing analysis of gas, while doing analysis of gas and liquid, we consider composition by volume, but while doing analysis of solid, we consider composition by mass, because while doing analysis of solid, the composition of solid or the mass of the solid is very less in most of the cases. When we consider by volume, it uh, it doesn't give proper result. Therefore, in case of analysis of gas and liquid, we consider composition of oxygen and nitrogen by volume, and in case of solid, we consider composition by mass. The small trace of other gases in dry air are including nitrogen, which is sometimes called atmospheric nitrogen. Now, combustion of hydrogen. Let us understand, hydrogen react with oxygen gives water, but we have to balance the equation. Look at here. Here H2O is there. We want H2O. Not necessarily twice H2O. We want H2O. Hydrogen is combined with oxygen. Now hydrogen is available in form of H2 and oxygen is available in form of O2. When hydrogen H2 and O2 will react, it will give twice HO. But we want H2O. Therefore, we are multiplying. We are taking 2 molecules of hydrogen, that is 4 atoms, and 1 molecule of oxygen, that is 2 atoms, and it gives 4 hydrogen, 2 oxygen. Okay, look at here, 2 hydrogen multiplied by 2, 4 hydrogen and 2 oxygen, that is 2 multiplied by 1, that is 1 oxygen, twice H2O. The above equation of combustion of hydrogen tells us that the hydrogen react with the oxygen to form a steam or water. It is completely depend upon the types of process taking place. If it is a combustion process, most of the time steam formed, but it is only reaction or the condensation process, it gives water. 2 molecules of hydrogen react with 1 molecule of oxygen to give 2 molecules of steam or water. Now 2 volume of hydrogen plus 1 volume of oxygen gives 2 volume of hydrogen. The H2O may be liquid or vapor depending on whether the product has been cooled sufficiently to cause condensation. The proportion by mass are obtained by using atomic weight as follows. Twice H2 plus O2 gives twice H2O. Look at here, 2 into 2, 4, that is 2 into 2, 4 hydrogen, and 2 into 1, 2 oxygen. Look at here, 2 atom of hydrogen, atomic weight of hydrogen is 1, multiply by 2, that is 2 into 1, 4, 2 into 1, 2, then 2 molecules, that is 4, plus oxygen 1 into 16 into 2, it gives 2 molecules of H2O, 2 molecules of H2O. Now H2O, O is 16, H2 is 2, multiply by 1 atomic weight. Therefore 4, 2 into 2, 2 into 2, 4 H2O, sorry 4 H2 plus 32 kg of O2 gives 36 kg of H2O. 4 kg of hydrogen mixed with the 32 kg of oxygen gives 36 kg of water. If we divide it by 1, if we supply 1 kg of hydrogen, it reacts with the 8 kg of oxygen and gives 9 kg of H2O. Okay, I am dividing this equation by 4. 4 by 4 1, 32 by 4 8, and 36 by 4 9. The same proportion are obtained by writing the equation as, if we divide this equation as H2 plus O2 gives H2O, H2 plus O2 gives H2O. In the previous equation we have taken twice H2 plus O2 gives H2O. If I am dividing it by 2, then it will be H2, it will be 1 by 2 H2, and it will be H2O. H2 plus half of O2 plus H2O. It will be noted from the equation that the total volume of the reactant is 2 volume of hydrogen plus 1 volume of oxygen gives 3 volume. Okay. The total volume of product is only 2 volume. Is therefore a volumetric concentration of a combustion. Look at here. When 2 volume of hydrogen react with a 1 volume of oxygen, it should give 3 volume of product, but it is giving only 2 volume of water. Since the oxygen is accompanied by the nitrogen, if air is supplied for the combustion, then this nitrogen should be included in the equation. As the nitrogen is an inert gas, as far as chemical reaction it is concerned, and it will appear on both sides of the equation. Since oxygen is not available in the oxygen form only, it is available in presence of nitrogen in the air. Okay, we supply air for the combustion of the fuel so that fuel can be react with the oxygen, but we do not supply only oxygen, we supply air, but in air along with the oxygen there is a nitrogen. Therefore combustion reaction, whatever we are writing, it should include the nitrogen also. Therefore twice H2 plus O2 plus 79 by 21 N2 gives twice H2O plus 79 by 21 N2. Now how 79 by 21 N2 is coming over here? As I told that 21 in nitrogen, if we consider air to be 100%, in that 100%, 79% is a nitrogen and 21% is a oxygen by volume. It means if we consider one part of a oxygen, then nitrogen is a 3.76 part. If we calculate it 79 upon 21, it will give 3.76. Okay, means nitrogen is a 3.76 times the oxygen in the air. Therefore in equation we have to write 79 by 21 nitrogen, but nitrogen doesn't react with the oxygen or hydrogen at normal temperature. Therefore it will come as it is in the product. In the product 79 by 21 nitrogen will be as it is, only oxygen and hydrogen will react with each other and will give H2O. Combustion of carbon. Complete combustion of carbon to carbon dioxide. Here we are considering complete combustion. Okay. Therefore C plus O2 will give CO2. And including the nitrogen. If we consider the nitrogen available in the air, then C plus O2 plus 79 by 21 N2. The N2 percent will be 79 by 21 always, because for one part of a oxygen, 79 by 21 part of a nitrogen is available. 79 by 21 means 3.76. Okay, means for one part of a oxygen, nitrogen will be 3.76 times in the air, but nitrogen will come as it is in the product, because nitrogen will not react with oxygen or carbon, only oxygen and carbon will react with each other. Then it C plus O2 gives CO2, and 79 by 21 N2 will come as it is, since it is an inert gas. Now by volume, 0 volume of carbon plus 1 volume of O2 plus 79 by 21 volume of nitrogen will give 1 volume of CO2 plus 79 by 21 volume of N2. Look at here in the reaction. I have taken carbon as a 0 volume. Why? Carbon is a solid. Carbon is a solid. But oxygen is a gas. Nitrogen is a gas. As compared to the volume of gas, the proportion of solid is very negligible. Therefore, it is 10 to 0. Therefore, I have taken 0. As compared to the proportion of carbon in the solid form is very negligible compared to the volume of gas. The volume of carbon is written as 0 since the volume of solid is negligible in the comparison with that of gas. Now by mass, 12 kg of carbon react with 2 into 16 kg of O2. Why 2 into 16? Because O2 is there. O is 16 and 2 multiplied by 2, 32. 2 into 16 kg of O2 plus 79 by 12. Sorry, 21. 79 by 21. Then N2. N2 is 14 into 2 kg of nitrogen gives 1 volume of CO2. That is CO2 means 12 plus 16 into 2. 12 plus 16 into 2 kg of CO2 gives 79.21. 79 by 21 into N2, that is 14 into 2 N2. If we add it, 12 kg of carbon plus 32 kg of oxygen plus 105.3 kg of nitrogen gives 44 kg of CO2 plus 105.3 kg of nitrogen. Means nitrogen will come as it is in the product. Then if we divide this equation by 12, it will give 1 kg of carbon react with 8 by 3 kg of oxygen plus 105.3 by 12 kg of nitrogen will give 11.3 kg of CO2 plus 105.3 by 12 kg of nitrogen. The incomplete combustion of carbon. Incomplete combustion means carbon doesn't convert into carbon dioxide. Carbon convert into carbon monoxide. The incomplete combustion of carbon occurs when there is an insufficient supply of oxygen to burn the carbon completely to carbon dioxide. When the availability of oxygen is less than the required, then all carbon does not convert into carbon dioxide. Some part of a carbon convert into carbon monoxide, okay, which is called as an incomplete combustion. When the carbon convert into carbon monoxide, it's called as incomplete combustion because carbon doesn't get sufficient amount of oxygen to convert into carbon dioxide. When 2 atoms of carbon is to be burned but only 1 molecule of oxygen is available, then what will happen? 2 molecule of carbon monoxide will form. 2 molecule of carbon monoxide will form. 1 atom of carbon required 1 molecule of oxygen, but here 2 atoms are there. 2 atoms of carbon are there. Therefore, it required 2 molecules. It required 2 molecules, but only availability is 1 molecule of oxygen. Then it will give 2 molecules of carbon monoxide. This is a incomplete combustion. Suppose instead of 2 molecule of 2 atom of carbon, only 1 atom of carbon is there, then C plus O2 will give CO2. But here 2 atoms are available of carbon. If we consider the nitrogen availability in the air, then 2C plus O2 plus 79 by 21 N2 will give twice CO plus 79 by 21 N2. Nitrogen will come in the product as it is since it is an inert gas by mass. Then 2 into C, 2 into 12 of C plus 2 into 16 of 2 into 16 kg of oxygen plus 79 by 21, 14 into 2, that is 2 into 14 kg of nitrogen will give 2 CO, 2 into C is 12 plus O is 16 kg of carbon monoxide plus 79 by 21 here into 2 into 14 kg of nitrogen. Look at here, this term will come as it is in the product, only carbon react with the oxygen. Now If we simplify, 24 kg of carbon react with the 32 kg of oxygen and 105.3 kg of nitrogen will give 56 kg of CO plus 105.3 kg of nitrogen. If we divide it by 24, we'll get 1 kg of carbon react with the 4 by 3 kg of oxygen plus 105 by 3 kg of 105.3 by 24 kg of nitrogen will give 7 by 3 kg of carbon monoxide and 105.3 by 24 kg of nitrogen. If the further supply of oxygen is available, then the combustion can continue to completion. If we supply oxygen further, then carbon can convert into carbon dioxide. If we supply oxygen further, if we supply oxygen means air further, then 2CO plus O2 plus 79 by 21 N2 will give twice CO2 and 79 by 21 N2 as it is. Now by mass, 56 kg of carbon monoxide plus 32 kg of oxygen plus 79 by 21 into 28 kg of nitrogen gives 88 kg of carbon dioxide plus 79 by 21 into 28 kg of nitrogen. This term will come as it is. For 1 kg of CO, for 1 kg of CO required 4 by 7 kg of oxygen and it will contain in air 105.3 by 56 kg of nitrogen will give 11 by 7 kg of carbon dioxide plus 105.3 by 56 kg of nitrogen. Now theoretical air and excess air. Now what is meant by theoretical air? Suppose carbon is to burn into carbon dioxide. The carbon is to burn in the carbon dioxide. Carbon should convert into carbon dioxide, that is CO2. For one atom of carbon required one molecule of oxygen, but air is supplied should contain only one molecule of oxygen, that is called as a theoretical air. Theoretical air means chemically correct or the air which is required for the complete combustion of fuel and no oxygen is left after reaction. It's called as a theoretical air, or the minimum amount of air that supplies sufficient oxygen. The minimum amount of air that supplies sufficient oxygen means availability of oxygen should be sufficient to convert all carbon into carbon dioxide. There should not be no atom of carbon which has converted into carbon monoxide. It should be converted to carbon dioxide. Okay, all oxygen has been consumed. The minimum amount of air that supplies sufficient oxygen for the complete combustion of all the carbon, hydrogen and any other element in the fuel. Okay, if the fuel contains carbon, hydrogen and any other constituent, then it should convert into its product form and no oxygen is left over in the product. It's called a theoretical air, which is also called as stoichiometric air. Stoichiometric air is defined as the chemically correct mixture of reactants. Chemically correct mixture of reactants or the chemically correct air supplied for the combustion. It's called as a stoichiometric air. When the complete combustion is achieved with the theoretical air, the product contains no oxygen. If carbon is to be burned, if one atom of carbon is to be burned, if we are supplying only one molecule of oxygen, then C plus O2 will give CO2 and no oxygen will be left over in the product. In practice, it is found that complete combustion is not likely to be achieved unless the amount of air supplied is sometimes greater than the theoretical air. But in most of the case, it happens that whenever we supply stoichiometric air, whenever we supply theoretical air, what happens that the combustion reaction takes place very fast. If we consider the automobile engine, the one cycle, the time required to take complete one cycle is very less. It is in a fraction of second. Therefore, in that time, it is very difficult to combine all oxygen with a fuel. Therefore, most of the time, fuel doesn't get proper amount of oxygen and convert and incomplete combustion takes place. Therefore, we need to supply excess amount of oxygen so that all fuel can be burnt completely. Therefore, to supply excess amount of oxygen, we need to supply excess amount of air, which is called as excess air. And uh, in normal case, we supply 150 times. Normal case, we supply 150%. That is 1.5 times of the required. Suppose 1 kg of air is required, we supply 1.5 kg so that all fuel can be burnt. Thus 150% theoretical air means that the air is actually supplied is 1.5 times the theoretical air. Suppose for the complete combustion we required only 1 kg of air. Instead of supplying 1 kg of air, we supply 1.5 kg of air. The complete combustion of methane with a minimum amount of theoretical air and the 150% of theoretical air respectively is written as CH4 plus twice O2 plus 2 79 by 21 N2 gives CO2 plus twice H2 plus 2 79 by 21 N2. Now how to write this reaction? Now we don't know the amount of oxygen supplied. We don't know the amount of oxygen to be supplied. Look at here. We know the composition of fuel. When the carbon and hydrogen is burned, carbon will convert into CO2 and hydrogen will convert into H2O. Look at here. There is only one carbon, therefore it will convert into CO2. Means for conversion of C into CO2, we require one molecule of oxygen, that is 2 atoms of oxygen. And to convert H4 into water, we require twice H4 will convert into twice H2O, that is 2 into 2 4 hydrogen and 2 into 1 atom of oxygen. That is we require 2 atom of oxygen plus 2 atom of oxygen, that is 4 atom of oxygen. We require 4 atom of oxygen, but oxygen is available in the molecular form, that is O2. Therefore, we will supply 2 molecules of oxygen, 2 molecules of O2. Now, in 2 molecules of O2, nitrogen available in the air will be 2 times of 79 by 21 into N2. If there is a only O2, not twice O2, nitrogen will be 79 by 21 N2. Since it is 2 O2, we are required to supply twice amount of air. In the twice amount of air, nitrogen percent will be twice. Therefore, 2 into 79 by 21 into N2. 2 into 79 by 21 into N2 will come as it is in the product. CH4 and oxygen will react. C plus O2 gives CO2 and H4 will give twice H2O. Suppose we are supplying air 150 times, 1.5 times, that is 150%. Then we have to multiply air, we have to multiply air with 1.5 times. Therefore, 2 into 1.5 O2 plus 279 by 21 into 1.5 N2 gives CO2 plus twice H2O. Now here, instead of 4 atoms of oxygen, we are supplying 4 into 1.5 times, that is 6. Then 2 O2 will left over in the 2 atoms of oxygen will left over in the product. Look at here, we required only 4 atom of oxygen, but we are supplying 2 into 2, that is 4 into 1.5, that is 6 atom of oxygen we are supplying, and only 4 atom of oxygen is consumed over here. Therefore, 2 atom of oxygen will left over in the product. The amount of air actually supplied may also be expressed in terms of percent excess air. The excess air is the amount of air supplied over and above the theoretical air. Thus, the 150% theoretical air is equivalent to the 50% of excess air. Suppose 1 kg of air is required theoretically for the complete combustion, but we supply 1.5 kg of air. It means 0.5 kg of air is excess. Therefore, we can say that 50% of air is excess air. Now, stoichiometric air fuel ratio. Now, what is meant by stoichiometric air fuel ratio? It is the ratio of air and fuel. It is the ratio of air and fuel. Now, it is the ratio of amount of theoretical air to the fuel supplied. Stoichiometric, or the chemically correct mixture of a fuel, mixture of air and fuel, is one of that contains just sufficient oxygen for complete combustion of fuel. It is a theoretical air which is chemically correct mixture of air and fuel. Stoichiometric air fuel mixture means chemically correct air fuel mixture. Suppose in fuel there is a carbon only, 1 kg of carbon. Then we need to supply 1 kg of carbon, 1 kg of O2. We need to supply 1 kg of O2 only. A weak mixture is a one which has an excess of air. Weak mixture means which has an excess of air. Means if the carbon is to be burned and we are supplying, instead of O2 we are supplying 2O2, 3O2, then this is called as a weak mixture. Or suppose we are considering a chemical, and if we required 50% chemical and 50% water, and if we are supplying more percent of water than the 50%, then chemical become weak. Chemical become weak, which is called as weak mixture. If we are taking 70% chemical and 30% water instead of 50-50, then it become rich mixture, concentrated. It become concentrated mixture, which is called as a rich mixture. Okay, the rich mixture is one which has a deficiency of air. Which has a deficiency of air. I have taken example of chemical and water. If we want 50-50 ratio of chemical and water, and if we are taking 70% chemical and 30% water, then it is a concentrated. It is called as a rich mixture. For complete combustion of fuel, we required, for 1 kg of fuel, we required 14.7 kg of air. We required 14.7 kg of air, which is called as stoichiometric air fuel ratio, 14.7. But instead of 14.7, we are supplying more than 14.7, then amount of oxygen is more, then mixture is a lean mixture. But if we are supplying less amount of air, that is less than 14.7, then this mixture is a rich mixture. The percent of excess air is given under the percent of excess air, actual air fuel ratio minus stoichiometric air fuel ratio upon stoichiometric air fuel ratio. Suppose for 1 kg of fuel, if 14.7 kg of air is required and we are supplying 20 kg of air, then 20 minus 14.7 divided by 14.7. This is the formula for percentage of excess air required. The ratio are expressed as, for gas and fuel, for gaseous fuel we represent it by volume, and for liquid and solid fuel we represent it by mass. For gas fuel we consider it by volume, and for liquid and solid we consider it by mass. For boiler plant, the mixture is usually greater than 20% weak. For gas turbine, it can be much as 300% weak. For gas turbine, we supply 300% excess air. Petrol engine has to meet various conditions of load and speed and operate over the wide range of mixture strength. The following definition used. The mixture strength is stoichiometric air fuel ratio upon actual air fuel ratio. The mixture strength is defined as the ratio of stoichiometric air fuel ratio divided by actual air fuel ratio. If the stoichiometric air fuel ratio is say 14.7 and the actual is 20, then mixture strength is less than 1. Okay, it should be 1 for stoichiometric air fuel ratio. The working range between 80% weak and 120% rich, the reciprocal of the air fuel ratio is called as a air fuel ratio. The next part we'll take in the next lecture.